to him was to wrap his dinar in that copper foil, and they would be protected from prying eyes. Now, they have these wallets. They're aluminum and stainless steel. There's two different kinds of stainless steel. Is a little more expensive than the aluminum. That's supposed to protect your credit cards or your ATM cards if they have a symbol of a broadcasting symbol in the lower left-hand corner. Those are appearing on the newer credit cards and ATM cards, and people that have a certain technology can just walk by you.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that's going to protect things. You might just want to get a roll of that copper foil and keep your credit cards and everything wrapped up in that.
And where do you find that copper foil?
At a hobby store. You can do Hobby Lobby or Michael's, hobbies and things like that. And if they don't have it on the shelf, you might call them ahead and see if they have it, and if they don't, ask them if they can order it.
Okay.
And I don't know if it will foil, no pun intended, the electronic strips that the vibrating machines of the postal community and other prying eye agencies have. I don't know on that one, but as far as being able to see in your house and everything and protect your money, I think when you cross state lines to go exchange your funds, I think it will help you a lot.
So in other words, going through a bank, if you were to put your money in cash your money in at a bank, you could lose your money?
No. Let's go there. There seems to be a lot of confusion about that.
Okay, so if people had a corporation set up, I don't, but if people had, because I know people who have, you cash your money in at a bank and it goes into their LLC or their corporation or whatever, then it's safe, or for those who don't, I'll let you speak now. Thank you.
You bet. Well, you're not going to like what I'm going to share, and this is my opinion only. It's been what I've been told by my sources over the years, and that corporations are not going to exist after the announcement and after NESARA is implemented, okay?
So people who are worried about, and all these Dinar sites who are selling LLCs and whatnot, those aren't going to...
I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I'm sitting back watching and waiting. From all that I know, the only kind of structures, business structures we're going to have after NESARA is implemented completely is sole proprietorships, partnerships, and you might have LLC, but it won't be a limited liability corporation. It will be a limited liability company, and then a common law, a pure common law, irrevocable trust. And there are very many of them written up different ways on what your needs might be. And I do have one of those. I have a trust, a pure common law, irrevocable trust.
Yes.
And
those are okay.
Well, it depends on who's writing them up, and you're going to have to find somebody that can instruct you how to use them. The people that wrote mine up didn't give me any instructions. I mean, they just verbally said, and it was just like a, they've been doing these things, but they don't have a DVD on instructions, and they don't have good instructions on how to operate with it. So mine is kind of sketchy, and it's okay for my bank account, but before I use any trust to secure or to protect assets like homes and cars and things like that, and you need a separate trust for each home and for each car. In other words, don't just have two trusts and you put all your real estate in one and all your cars in another. You need to protect each piece of asset in a trust by itself. And the reason being is, let's just say you have a Cadillac in one trust and you have a pickup in another trust. Let's say you're driving the pickup and you lose control of the pickup and you run across somebody's front yard and take out all their landscaping. Now, you had the damage assessed because you're going to have to take care of it yourself. There's no more insurance companies, right? So they're telling you their landscaping costs $100,000 and that you need to come up with that kind of money. And you had it assessed, and the expert that you hired to go out there and take a look at it said, oh, it's about $7,000. That's a pretty big gap. So they end up suing you, and they sue the trust that your truck is in. All they're going to be able to get for damages is that truck. They aren't going to be able to take your house. They're not going to be able to get your Cadillac. All they can get is the truck that was in that one trust. They can only sue that trust because that was who owns that truck.
So will there be a Homestead Act anymore?
You're asking a question I don't know, honey. I don't know that there may be.
And the question, yeah.
I don't know.
And not all states have the homestead. I know where I live here in Florida that we do, but I know that the state that I was looking to go to does not have homestead exemption. So it's going to depend upon your state, and I would definitely check with your state.
You know, my first instinct is that we're not going to have to worry about that because how do I put this? All of the court records that are there now, where all your properties are registered and everything like that, there is questionable evidence that there will be that kind of control over your property. And the Homestead Act is to protect you from losing that property.
Yeah.
Once you have that property under the new common law, constitutional law, there's not going to be an entity that's going to come after you for that property. So I really think the Homestead Act is going to be a null and void point, but
okay.
I could be wrong.
Non-issue. Okay. And then hopefully with this whatever new system comes in, because there won't. I just was jumping up and down hearing there's no lawyers.
Don't you love it?
Yeah. I mean, I have to tell you, that's a bit difficult to take in right now because they run our country.
that part of the justice system is the most wonderful part. No more lawyers. Thank you, God.
I'm just, some of this almost seems too good to be true. So, pinch me.
But think about it. So was the Dinar almost too good to be true, and look at where we all stand with it. So,
yeah.
You know, we always heard that if it's too good to be true, you know, you better stay away from it, you know. But I have come to think here in the last year, maybe if it's too good to be true, that's great that it is.
What about mortgages?
They're going to be zeroed out along with all your car loans and college loans and everything like that. Anything that's been financed by the Federal Reserve or its compatriots is going bye-bye. If your home is financed by an individual, like a contract for deed or a whatever, from what I understand, that's going to have to be renegotiated, and either at a very, very low interest rate or no interest at all, and maybe even the price will have to be renegotiated. So that is up in the air. I'm not a good person to ask on that one, but all of the Federal Reserve institutions like banks and mortgage companies and Sallie Mae with the college loans, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, all of that's going to be gone, and everything's going to be zeroed out.
So like reverse mortgages with the federal government and federal government refinance programs, those will all be zeroed?
I'm pretty sure so, because all these government agencies are going to be gone.
So if a bank holds your mortgage...
Pardon me?
So if a bank holds your mortgage, or a mortgage company, a finance company holds your mortgage will be zeroed out?
You will own your property free and clear, my dear.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, a caveat in regards to that. If you purchased a foreclosed property, let's just say that Sally lost her property through foreclosure and you stepped in and bought that property, you're probably going to lose it. That is not a good thing to be doing, taking advantage of somebody's heartbreak and loss.
I agree.
And they will not allow that to happen. So let's just say Sally got her house foreclosed on. She can either get her house back from you and you lose, or they will give her money reparation for it. Oftentimes when people lose a property like that, there's so much grief and heart sickness with it, heartbreak over it, that they're mad that they lost the house, but to get it back and live within those negative vibrations, it's almost just too much for them. So a lot of people will choose to take the reparation, and you may have to, I don't know how that'll be handled, to be honest with you, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Please don't try to take advantage of the foreclosure market and to make the profit in your pocket, because you're going to end up being hurt somehow.
Sounds like we're back to Solomon's wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, when the woman brought the child, both two women brought the child before him, and he said divide it in half, and the one said no, let her have it. It's back to that justice system again. Praise God.
Yes. Now, so in other words, these people who are flipping houses that are going on short sales or if they're holding them, they're going to lose them.
Well, short sale is different than a foreclosure. She's talking if the home has been foreclosed upon.
Okay.
Yeah, because a short sale is a negotiation of the sale. Am I correct there, Carol?
You're in the short sale is something I haven't given a lot of thought to. If it's going to hurt the homeowner and it's a fraudulent deal, there's going to be some reparation somewhere down the line, I do believe, because like I say, this mortgage business has been fraudulent from the get-go, okay? Mm-hmm. It's been hurting the homeowner, and you're paying for the home at least twice, because when you signed the closing papers, when you signed that promissory note was eventually, very rapidly actually, presented to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve paid off the loan to the mortgage company or the bank, whomever was holding it, and they gave them fractionalized that amount to adding another 9 times that amount. Let's just say your note was for $100,000. It's presented to the Federal Reserve. They send let's just say it's a bank, okay, just for simplicity's sake. They send the bank $100,000 to pay the note off. So the bank, you don't owe the bank that money, but the bank is going to charge you that note of $100,000 and interest on top of it. Plus you have to pay insurance and taxes and all the dark agenda horse manure that we've had to pay for years and years and years. Plus the bank gets $900,000 worth of credit from the Federal Reserve to loan out to new suckers. Let me just put it that way. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So the bank is making money hand over fist over fist over fist, and it's fraudulent. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's been
comment, Denver.
Ma'am, did you get all your questions?
I did, and thank you. I have taken up so much, but I thank you, and I hope by my asking these questions it maybe helped others who had similar questions since I took up so much time. So bless you and
thank you. No, don't apologize for the time, because when you're asking a question, it's helping. There's a lot of people on this call tonight. I can see it. I can feel it, that this is new stuff, and so by you asking the question, we cover that area for not only you, but everybody else that needs to know. So thank you for that, dear.
Thank you.
And the gentleman from Denver?
Yeah, I just want to say a word about short sales. All that amounts to is when you have your house up for sale and you agree with the realtor to do a short sale.
Oh yeah.
That's if the bank.
You use them too?
What's that?
The situation
in the resort hotels.
Sir, if I might, if you folks will give me a chance to weigh in on this, and if you think I'm wrong, that's okay. I don't care. I may not be right, but I'm just going to pose this for you to consider. The short sale is dictated by the lender. They're trying to foreclose upon you, but they're giving you an opportunity to sell the property yourself. You're going to be taking a loss, and the realtor's involved, so shame on him. And so the homeowner is the one that gets the short sheet on this one, okay? And so from my angle, knowing what I know about this whole change in government and the reparations and that type of thing, somehow that poor owner that had to sell under a short sale has got to get some reparation somewhere down the line because they've been harmed financially, okay? And people don't just say, well, I'm going to sell my house on a short sale. I mean, because I was a real estate broker, too, for many years, and in commercial and investment, and a sale is a sale. So if I own a house, let's just say I have a loan for $100,000 on that house, and and the house is really worth $150,000, do you think I'm going to, I mean, it's just like, okay, well, I'm in a dark economy right now, and the houses aren't selling, so I've got it listed for $150,000, but along comes a buyer for $100,000 cash. Now I got to sit down as a seller and decide: am I going to hold out for the extra $50,000, or am I just going to accept this lowball offer and walk away?